Good afternoon and welcome to OptionsTender's Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. April 10th, 2026. We're going to go through SPX and VIX, both on the daily and the 65. But as a little bonus, we're going to check out super quick the 10-year interest rates on treasuries. We're going to do Bitcoin and the dollar. All right, so let's do those, knock those out of the way, then we'll do our regular service here. So here's Dixie. Here's our bull bear line. You can see we're setting up a base. We're looking for a higher low. So left shoulder, head, right shoulder. We're looking for the dollar to break out. TNX, the 10-year. We had a breakout. We're back testing at this point, and we're looking for our next move up here to about we'll call it 4.5%, almost 6%. And then what happens after that? If we break out, good night. See ya, the market. And if we fail, same thing. We're in the sweet spot right now. No big deal. We'll see what happens. Bitcoin, with the market being so strong, and I don't mean underneath the hood, I just mean the move that it made. Bitcoin, I would suspect it would hit these retracements already. I think this is showing signs of weakness as well for risk appetite. So I'm redrawing the bear flag. The bear flag is back, baby. Here we go. Okay. So Bitcoin looks like it's going to backtest here and break down from this level. And of course, underneath this 66,500 should be a good night for Bitcoin on its next leg lower. All right, so SPX on the daily time frame. By the way, we're doing this at about almost 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to get these videos intraday, consider becoming a YouTube supporter. It's $3 a month. It gets you the video earlier. Otherwise, you can see it at 4 p.m. If you want more in-depth videos, which I highly recommend, it's $10 a month. And if you want to get a discount on that, go to Patreon and do the $90 for one whole year. I think that's a very, very fair price here. Okay, so we're looking at a cloud cover candle so far. We have some time in the day. I think we have a little bit of unfinished business, so wait till we get to that 65-minute here. And basically, same game plan as what we've been looking for. Here's your moving averages. All right, holding on to that 100. Again, I think we have a little bit higher to go. Okay, let's just go where we finished off here. You can see lots of things. So we're creating a storyline. This was our first resistance. Got past it. We're almost to that downtrend in our rejection box right here. Okay. So what we did with this, I had this as a sort of wave 3 top, and just for precaution, we're gonna move this up here to where today is holding, just in case we get a little shenanigans back to these levels. Price has no business getting back underneath the 67.27 bull bear line that we moved up here, because that would be a wave 4. That's if we don't tag this 68.56. So as long as we're above 6727, we're still going for these targets. Okay, and I highly doubt we get up to 69.26, but I want to add that in there for a very extreme range with that, which that would give me the idea that this would be a flat pattern if we got that deep there. The 786 should be where things end. Let's look at some of the indicators. So we are red hot. We are at the 81 RSI right now. That's pretty darn overbought. If we do pull back for some reason and then go up higher, we should see some negative divergence there. We're starting to get an early sell signal. We're getting a crossover in the slow stochastic, which is all the way up to that 94, almost 95 mark. We had the buy signal. We are just at that 0 line. We are almost done with this move. Okay. And if you look back, this is our measured move. This was our inverse head and shoulder, left shoulder, head, right shoulder, measured move. It's just a little bit higher. Call an oscillator. All right. As price is moving higher, we are starting to roll over. I showed a video for market breadth earlier for members and really gave a visual of what that looks like. Check it out. Plus, it comes with the Discord. All right, Bollinger Band. We're pushing that top of the band. You know, it's only going to last so long. It's a sell setup. Overbought into the bands. It's coming soon. All right, Elliott Oscillator. We haven't looked at that. And yeah, look at that. So we're right back at the zero line, giving a little whipsaw, I presume, which is a natural thing for this to do. And then I think we'll get back into the red there. D-Mark. Seven count, so that gives us Tuesday as being our 9 count. Can we kind of hang out around here till Tuesday? It's possible, especially if we don't gain any momentum here. We have this red candle. Maybe we get it inside on Monday. Tuesday goes up a little higher. Anything could happen there, but I still feel there's unfinished business. And if we do get a 9 count, it doesn't have to be Tuesday that has to be the high. We can get a high on Monday. We can get a topping candle. And then Tuesday be a candle that's a little bit lower, and you could still get that 9 count. I believe the rule is that the 4th day before, all right, it would be Monday, today, right here. So it shouldn't enter that gap area, or else it just, I mean, it doesn't mean you can't reverse. It just takes away that 9 count perfect sell signal there. Okay, very similar to the 9 count here. Went up a little higher. Boom. Here's your 13 count corrected. It works very, very often. All right, let's go to the VIX. All right, so the VIX already hit the target zone. Now, another way that the VIX, and another way that you can have a negative divergence in the market and a positive divergence of the VIX is showing that maybe the VIX bottomed already, and we go into Monday and Tuesday, but don't make a lower low. But SPX makes a higher high. That's divergence. That's positive for the VIX. We are in the window for a VIX cycle low. We're looking for a reversal, and that could be done here today, while the SPX makes just a slightly higher high into Monday or Tuesday. All right, let's go to SPY this time on the 65. And you guys, the only reason why I do SPY, I like SPX because it's not skewed by dividends, distribution, and then ES has contract rolls and things like that. So I don't like to chart those as much. I chart them, but I like SPX very, very specifically because it's cash indices and it's never skewed. Okay, so you have your 786 right up top here. We already have that written in there. We're holding on. Oh, look at that. I didn't see that yet. We're holding on to the 20-week simple moving average. So price is trying to hold on to that. And I suspect that it will. And our next move would be up here. I can't imagine that we wouldn't tag it by Monday, but you never know. Maybe if we tag it by Monday, but we get a tweezer top, come back here, hit it up again with the lower high. So we could move around in this region until price wants to reverse. Okay, I've seen it many times where you have 2, 3, 4 days in a row just because it was waiting on time. A lot of times when the market moves very fast, you have to consolidate, and you have price consolidates more than it does expanding. So, the contraction could last up here for a minute. So don't, I wouldn't recommend necessarily to, as soon as it tags up here, to just go 0 to 8 or the next day, throw on a swing, give yourself a little bit of time there. Okay, so that's why we're holding on right here. And it's also coinciding with the 8 EMA you see on the 65 minute. Okay, negative divergence. You could have another condition up there for negative divergence, but this isn't going to last very long. We had the negative divergence in the slow stochastic. We already cycled to the bottom on this little move here. So I suspect we'll cycle back up into the targets. All right, we're in the upper boundary. Maybe we can find some divergence there later on as we tick back up here to 683.17 on SPY. Bollinger Band. Okay, we hit it. We consolidated. We didn't do it in price. We did it in time, and we're heading back up. Do we starting to tighten the band? That very well could be. Again, that's things that happen once you get to an area. Maybe the band needs to catch up here, and or the moving averages. Money flow index. Although it went a little higher, we still have divergence. All right, we'll see if we have another lower high right here. That is distribution, folks. DMARC, 4 count, no setup here. Elliott oscillator, we have our divergence. Okay, so the VIX. Here's another look at it. All right, so we had this trend line here, and from the past, back tested it, rejected from it. We have a little unfinished business here with the with this gap. Doesn't have to close, but if it does, I wouldn't be surprised. All right, we could make a higher low, we could make a lower low. I'm not sure, but if price doesn't really do anything the next 2 trading days, sure, it could close this gap. All right, so I suspect that we're ready to regain that trend line coming up here soon, but I still think that after, I guess I could reflect that in the, I think that it would be more appropriate that the VIX did something like this, back tested, and we'll we'll see what kind of formation it makes, but then make some kind of higher low and then starts to take off from here. Now that could take a couple bumps here, but eventually I think we'll start breaking. And when we do start entering the gap definitively, I think we're going to have a pretty large move to close that gap. I don't think it's going to inch its way through it. I think we're going to go into it, and it's going to be a pretty large day. We have some other traders in our Discord that agree with the same thing, and we're really starting to key in on this next move. And so I wouldn't be surprised to see some are saying 5 rips and dips. You said 5 to 6%. I'm on board with the 3-4%, and we'll see what happens there. But either way, big move coming up ahead. Likely next week, I can imagine, after whatever shenanigans happens to change momentum. So when you have this huge momentum, sometimes it takes the Titanic some time to turn back around. It doesn't always flip on a dime. Now it can. Don't get me wrong. We can go back and back test. There's times in the market when the market spikes high. I'll give you a super quick example and we'll get out of here. Okay, the market in a downtrend, for example. Let's get a little more time. In a downtrend, here's our nearest downtrend. Could spike up and look at that gap down. Boom. See ya. There's other times when you do get a nice momentum move up there, but then it plays around for a little bit. All right, now I know that's a 1-2 setup, but it just messes around there. You got this huge move, had to consolidate. Boom, boom, boom. Look at that. You had this move was in 2 days, 6%. All right, that's a big move. That's similar to what happened here. I think this might have even been bigger. And then after that 6%, 1, 2, 3, 4 days to inch up there. You saw it inch up in another day. You could have had a reversal there. Didn't quite, held up, inched up again. 4 days to consolidate this move, and then it started to move after that. Okay. Again, that one, I consider this reversing on a dime after this huge move up here. Boom. Anything could happen. Look at this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days. That's a week and a half of trading where it didn't go anywhere after a large move. Okay, I'm just showing you different examples. It can do whatever it wants. So just be aware of that. That's all. It's always awareness. And if you don't go anywhere, You don't hold on to your positions forever. You know, as you go down, maybe roll your positions, give yourself some more time if you're a shorter date swing trader. So, all right, you guys, thanks for watching here. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and come see us in the Discord. It's a super great community to be in. We'll see you.